All right, so I'm going to cover a few things when you take the or open up the new WarDragon kit. Just some basically suggestions on how I kind of envision setting it up. You'll notice here in this video, though, I just have an external power supply. I'm using the 12 volt 3 amp power supply that comes with the WarDragon. It's plugged in externally. There's also Ethernet that's external and then a USB pass-through. I may get to using that, but what I want to focus on is the initial setup of the WarDragon. And what I'm doing is just temporarily using a small screen. Once I turn it on, I'll flip it over. And that small screen is plugged in where the HDMI dummy plug is usually plugged in. The whole intent of the WarDragon was to be headless and remotely accessed either through Wi-Fi or Ethernet, or what I've shown in some of the videos, which is Wi-Fi Halo U, so over 900 megahertz. That requires another adapter. But we're just going to show, or I'm just going to show getting this set up for a quick start here. And you could always take an HDMI cable and plug it into a bigger and external monitor. Just like I indicated in the paperwork, you need to be a little bit aware of, there could be an issue depending on the HDMI cable and the monitor where it looks like the WarDragon. You'll see the power light turn on, but it's not actually turning on, and you'll just have a blank screen. Typically, if I encounter that, I'll turn off the WarDragon, remove external power, plug it back in, and turn it back on. But really, that's kind of traced back apparently to the HDMI cable. So try and stick with the original HDMI cable if you can, or get a good quality one. Here, I've just got an aftermarket one plugged into this monitor. The WarDragon, like I said, is plugged into external power. I'm just going to reach down here and hit the red power button that's on the left-hand side. There's normally not a antenna. Well, there really isn't an antenna that I currently include on the Airspy, but of course you're going to want to get an antenna and put it on there. I've just thrown one on there temporarily. And the USB, this is a USB 2 hub. I've kind of had that for a reason, just to cut down on any interference of USB 3. If you look that up, USB 3 can cause some interference on about the GPS range or so. Let me think. There's also an external GPS plugged into here, U-Block 7, I believe it is. And probably about this point, you'll see this monitor also has some speakers on it, so we could get sound through. Probably should be like booted up by now. And I'm just going to kind of set it in here so you can see what I'm doing. I've got a USB keyboard and mouse plugged in. Username and password by default is Dragon. You can check your sound, which should be preset using the mixer under configuration. And there's a digital stereo output, analog stereo input, which will send it through the HDMI cable, which is fine in this case. If you want to run through the jack, the audio jack that's on the WarDragon, you'd have to go back up and do like it's analog stereo duplex, I believe, or it might be analog stereo output. One of those two will get it through the jack there. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at edit connections.
All right, so I'm picking up where I left off from the video where you could see the WarDragon, and now we're right on the WarDragon. Of course, I'm recording that really small screen that I took or that you saw in the video. When you use the HDMI dummy plug, you're going to get a resolution more in the 1900 by, can't remember the specifics, but you're going to get a much bigger, better resolution when you remotely connect. But I'm just going through the setup right now. So what you could do is, if you wanted to connect wired to the WarDragon, you could go to your wired internet connection, IPv4, change it to manual, and add a IP address there. We'll just make something up here, 1.100. Do a net mask of 255.2. Oops. 255.255.0. So you can, and then just hit save. So you could obviously mess around with that to account for if you're wanting an internet connection. You could even say add a new connection, go to Wi-Fi, and you could create an actual hotspot using the internal Wi-Fi on the WarDragon, That will then give DHCP out to clients that connect. So that's another way that you can be able to remotely connect here in a minute when we get it set up and control the WarDragon from a separate, could be laptop, desktop, whatever you want, tablet. Doesn't really matter, just as long as there's a compatible remote desktop protocol or more so VNC or something. I'm going to use RustDesk in this example, but there's other things that can be set up. So anyways, I'm just going to stick with the wired internet connection. So what that's essentially going to do is allow me to plug a LAN cable into the side of the WarDragon and run it over to a, say, laptop for testing. But I have that set up. Really, the only thing else that needs to be set up is in the desktop post install directory. There is both an app image and then a Debian package for RustDesk. At the time of this putting this together, I have the RustDesk 1.2.3 in there. So if I do sudo dpkg -i and then RustDesk, and tab it out to get that Debian package installed, what that's going to do is start up this RustDesk service in the background. And if we pull up and go to internet and we do our RustDesk, we have a ID and a one-time password here that we're going to be able to use. That can be edited, but we also want to go under the little hamburger menu, go to network, and we can unlock our network settings. And actually, you know what? Sorry, that's actually security. And we'll unlock security settings. And if we look at enabling direct IP access, so if we don't want to have to go out and use a third-party service to make this connection to our WarDragon, which you can even set up your own hosted RustDesk service out basically on the internet or something so that you can maintain control of everything. But in this case, I'm just going to enable direct IP access. And let's see. Let's see. I closed it out. Let's open it back up. Make sure that stayed in place. Security, unlock. And it is. Okay, so it's enabled. And really from here, if I plugged in a laptop, which I'll get to that and I'll screen share, I should be able to determine the IP address, which I've set statically, of the WarDragon. I would then install preferably the same version of RustDesk, whether it's Windows, Mac, Linux. I would install that RustDesk to another system, and then when I say, control remote desktop, I would put the IP address of that WarDragon in this case. And then if you do require a password, or you can edit that to use a permanent password, you can change that however you want. It's going to come up and prompt you for that password, at which point you can get in. And now if you have a problem, I'm pretty sure it's that actual like one-time password or that permanent password. Of course, there's also the user password, so just bounce between those two if need be, and then you will have remote desktop connection. And so after you get this set up, ideally what you want to do is as a test, shut it all down, take out your monitor, plug back in the HDMI dummy plug, and you can pretty much just rest assured when you turn the power on the WarDragon, it's going to boot up. Of course, you got that HDMI dummy plug in there. You can't really have both at the same time, but you're just going to have to trust, boots up, and then you should be able to use your remote desktop connection to connect. That's kind of how I intended it to be used, and that way you can leave it kind of unattended. Of course, it's not really like totally waterproof, and the case lid needs to be open to circulate some air just with the current design. But you know, you could leave it somewhere that's got some shelter or something around it, set up your antenna array, or if you temporarily need to set up something out in a field environment or something, you can, and then you can distance yourself a little bit, or you know, pop over to your laptop to basically manage that remote sensor of sorts. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll try and make a few more videos. I'll also try and attach or do another video that shows connecting to the WarDragon with BrusNest. So, all right, I just wanted to get something out there because I know quite a few people have these in their hand now, and I just wanted to address those few things.